Now, Martin, remember, was on the way back to his dad's fiance's condo to watch the NBA All-Star game. He wasn't armed. He was carrying a bag of Skittles and an iced tea. He was wearing jeans, white tennis sneakers, and a hoodie. As we mentioned, we have 911 tapes of the incident, which we've kept in sequence but edited for time and the appropriate content. They start with George Zimmerman's call, apparently from his car near the condo's complex gates.
This guy looks like he's up to no good, or he's on drugs or something. It's raining, and he's just walking around looking about.
Okay, and this guy, is he white, black, or Hispanic?
Yeah, now he's coming towards me.
Okay.
He's got his hand in his waistband. Yeah, he's a black male. Something's wrong with him. Yeah, he's coming to check me out. He's got something in his hands. I don't know what his deal is.
Okay, just let me know if he does anything, okay?
Over here.
Yeah, we got him on the way. Just let me know if this guy does anything else.
Okay. They always get away.
Well, what Trayvon was doing was heading back to where he and his father were staying. His family says he may have been listening to music on his iPhone, not even aware that Zimmerman was watching. They claimed Zimmerman pursued Trayvon, and as you can hear on the 911 tape, Zimmerman admits it.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Okay.
In fact, dispatchers told Zimmerman not to even get out of his car. Police, they said, were on the way. That advice was for Zimmerman's safety and Trayvon Martin's. Under Florida's lethal force law, Zimmerman could have stayed where he was, stood his ground, and as long as he reasonably believed that his life was in danger, fired in self-defense. But as you heard there, he apparently did neither. He apparently followed Trayvon Martin, and about 100 yards away from where Trayvon was going to meet his dad, confronted him. The moment is captured in another 911 call, this one from a neighbor who hears shouting outside.
Okay. And is it a male or female?
It sounds like a male.
And you don't know why?
I don't know why. I think they're yelling help, but I don't know. Just send someone quick. Say stop.
Okay. Does he look hurt to you? Can you see him?
I can't see him. I don't want to go out there. I don't know what's going on. So they're sending him.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
All right. What is your phone number?
Just there's gunshots.
You just heard gunshots?
Yes.
How many?
This one.
He just said he shot him. Yes, the person is dead, laying on the grass.
Just because he's laying on the ground.
Oh, God.
Trayvon Martin died of a gunshot wound to his chest. George Zimmerman is free, while state authorities determine what to do next. Federal authorities today said they're monitoring the case. The shooting has set off nationwide protests over deadly force and race. Now, shortly before airtime, I spoke with Trayvon Martin's father, Tracy, and the family's attorney, Benjamin Crump. Mr. Martin, first of all, I'm so sorry for the loss of your son. When you hear these 911 calls, what goes through your mind? What do you think?
It's heart-wrenching because those actually were my son's last words. And to hear his last words being cries of help is devastating, you know, and it tears me apart as a father.
You have no doubt that's his voice crying for help.
I'm sure that that's his voice. I'm positive that's his voice.
Police say that this man Zimmerman had blood on the back of his head, on his face. Have they said anything to you about how it got there, if it was his blood or your son's blood? Have they given you details?
They told me that it was an altercation between the two individuals, but the details, they didn't give them to me.
As you know, the father of Zimmerman gave a statement to the Orlando Sentinel, and he said, "The media reports the events are imaginary at best. At no time did George follow or confront Mr. Martin. When the true details of the event become public, and I hope to be soon, everyone should be outraged by the treatment of George Zimmerman in the media." He's saying his son did not follow your son, but very clearly in these 911 calls, the police say, "Are you following him?" And he says yes, and the police say, "We don't need you to do that."
Yeah, exactly. George Zimmerman's father is, I guess he's being a father and trying to protect his son. Is obviously that he hasn't heard the 911 tapes. And if he did, he must have heard a different version than what the world has heard.
Mr. Crump, in your dealings with the police, I mean, with the local police, do you think they have investigated this fully? Do you think they have taken this seriously?
I don't, Anderson. I think from day one they didn't. And you know, and those 911 tapes tell a big part of the story, but it doesn't tell the whole story. For instance, they get to the scene, Trayvon is dead on the ground, and they don't even run a background check on the person who killed him. But number one, if it was Trayvon Martin who was the trigger man, they would have arrested him day one, hour one, on the spot. He would still be sitting in jail now.
You have no doubt that if it was Trayvon Martin who had shot a white person, that Trayvon Martin would be in jail. That if it was any African American who had shot a white person, that person would be a suspect, would be in jail.
Absolutely, Anderson. And they could say self-defense all they want and everything. They would still be arrested and put in jail. But I had to say this one other point, Anderson, and that is, if Trayvon Martin was white, don't you think they would have ran the background check of George Zimmerman no matter what he said?
Mr. Martin, let me ask you, because one of the things when I heard that 911 tape that immediately got my attention is one of the earliest things Mr. Zimmerman said. He says, this guy looks like he's up to no good or on drugs or something. He's a black male. Something's wrong with him. He's coming to check me out. So the idea that there was something that Mr. Zimmerman thought there was something suspicious about your son. Your son was wearing white sneakers, jeans, and a hoodie, which I got to tell you, I wear that every single day of my life when I'm not on camera. And I don't think anybody, even if they didn't recognize me, would have said, well, I look suspicious. And I was wearing the exact same, I wear the exact same thing your son was wearing. To you, is that just a question, is that just a matter of race?
I think it's a matter of profiling, which I think that's an issue that Mr. Zimmerman himself considers as someone suspicious. A black kid with a hoodie on, jeans, tennis shoes. But as you said, thousands of people wear that outfit every day. So what was so suspicious about Trayvon that Zimmerman felt as though he had to confront him?